Okay. Hello, ladies and gentlemen. You are welcome to RWTV. Today we've got a minister of God who is with us to share with us what he's really up to, know a little bit about him. I know he's a very popular gospel musician, but I think he's well known back in Africa in Ghana. Mr. OJ, that's what he's popularly known as. So we would like to hear from him a little bit about himself. Anybody joining us who doesn't know who OJ is, and this is the opportunity to know who this talented gospel musician is. You give us a little brief about his background, how he got into the gospel music. Why didn't he do mainstream music but decided to do gospel? So you are welcome, Mr. OJ.
Thank you very much. My pleasure.
Why are people calling you OJ? What's the abbreviation? Did you get from secondary school?
No. Actually, my name is Michael Oware. Michael Oware Sech. And my dad was a musician. He's late, so
Oh,
and we happened to be at a church in Kumasi called CCC. And my dad was the music director, and I was a young man at that time playing keyboards. So anytime the name Mr. Oware was mentioned, it's like I would turn, and my dad was also 10. So
okay.
I decided to yeah I decided to take a name that was easily to be recognized, easily recognized, and I became Owari Junior.
Mm.
Apparently, there was another musician also called Fred Owari Junior. So I had to shorten mine by making it OJ so that I'll be able to stand out. That's how I changed the name to OJ. Yeah.
US, please bear with us if OJ is being distracted a little bit. Today is his day to look after the children, so he might be a bit distracted when the kids want to have a little bit, piece of daddy. So bear with us. He's trying his very best to, get the maximum concentration for us. All right. Okay, cool. Right. So at what point did I know your dad is a musician. Was it when in your teenage years or when you came out of school that you thought or felt with the background training you've got from your dad, being with your dad, you
Yeah.
want
I
to
think my first point of inspiration was from my dad. My dad used to live in Nigeria in the early 80s,
okay.
between the early 80s. So at that time there wasn't anything like internet, and so what they used to do was they used to take a picture, and occasionally he'll post it to my mom, some of his performances and some of the TV shows that he was doing at that time. They used to call it agege. So
Okay.
anytime he posted those pictures, my
Mm,
mom would show the pictures to us. We were three as at then.
okay.
And I like the way my dad was a guy, typical musician. He had bushy hair, the afro hair, and that bear trouser and those things. So I was like, when I grow up, I want to be like this man because it appears he's having fun with whatever he was doing as at that time. So I drew a lot of inspiration from him. And upon his return from Nigeria in, I think, 91 or 92, he started teaching us how to play the guitar, myself and my brother. So from there I was inspired to do it, because there was a policy at home that no guitar, no breakfast. You play before you eat.
I thought.
And yes, and his intention was that if you want to become a medical doctor, an accountant, whatever you want to become in life, he will allow you to do it. But with the music, you have to do it, especially with the playing of an instrument. And his point was, if you are a student and you happen to be at a place where he could not reach you by sending you money, you can play for a church, you can play for a band, and you can make some money out of that. So that was his motivation. Yes.
Mm,
And by so doing, I learned how to play the piano. He taught me how to play the piano and the guitar and the bass guitar as well. So I can play three instruments. And I can tell you, it really helped me during my school days.
Mm.
When I was at Prempeh College, I used to play for a church, Revival Outreach, and I use it to pay some of my fees. So anytime my dad wanted to send me money, I would tell him that I've got cash on me. You don't need to send me money.
Wow. You see?
Yeah. So some way somehow it has really helped me.
Mm.
When I went to secondary school, I decided to do music, take music as a full course. So I did music, I did English literature, and I did account because I lived in Kumasi. So that is how my inspiration started. So I got a formal training in music. They taught us composition at school, orchestration, and those things, how to harmonize your songs and write your song. So
Mm.
professionally, by the grace of God, we are there
Wow.
in a
Wow.
way. Mm.
Wow. Wow. But was your dad a gospel musician or just mainstream?
Yeah, he was. He was. I think when he started teaching us at that time in the 90s, I think he had accepted Christ. He used to play with Majek Fashek, Sonio Cousins, those people. My dad was a wild guitarist. Yeah. So he was he had accepted Christ as at then. So he was a gospel guitarist. Let me say it that way. So those are the some of the songs he did. So he used to work with Esther Smith, Mr. Nyamicha used to do their guitar works for them at that time.
Okay.
Yeah, so a couple of songs on the New Year, all those songs, and a lot of Esther Smith song. Adi Crow, no. My dad did all the guitar works in those songs. Yeah, it was called Mr. Oware.
Okay. All right.
Mm.
So when you took it up as a profession, how was the support like? Because you know the reason why I'm saying this.
I
Um,
know.
I've interviewed a lot of gospel musicians, and I
Mm-hmm.
think one challenge they face is getting the support, especially financially. And I keep
Yeah.
asking them, what is the church doing to support
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
people? So I just want to hear from your experience. How was the support like?
Yeah. From physical support and motivation, I got it from my dad,
Mm.
but my mom wasn't quite enthused about it at all.
Okay.
Oh yes, my mom wanted me to become maybe should I say a teacher. He wanted me to
Oh
pass
yeah.
through the formal yes, pass through the formal way of doing things, to
Mm.
do a monthly salary job, a job that she felt was a bit secure,
Okay.
because doing music, what my dad should have gotten from music, he didn't get it as such. So as a mother, I think she expressed her fear in a way.
Mm.
So it was like music need ya unye.
Yeah.
School been a form. Me koto training college forms, bro. I bought you training college forms. Go to spirit college and do something. After all, if you become a teacher, then at the end of the month you'll be paid
You'll be paid.
and your
Getting the
salary will be assured. But if you want to do music, when are you going to make money? When are you going to do this? So I faced a stern opposition at home. So I remember I left home at the age of 19, 18 or 19. Yeah, I left home.
Wow.
Yes. And I remember those days when I told my dad that I had rented an apartment, so I want to move in. My dad said, "Well, he's a man,
Mm-hmm.
he's a man, so he can go and have it." But my mom didn't want it, and I also told her that I want to do music, and you are the same person preventing me from doing it. So I want to get out of the house and work hard and prove you wrong. So when I was growing up, there was only one person I wanted to please in life. That was my mom. I
Wow.
wanted to prove her wrong. Yes.
Mm.
And today she's so proud. She's extremely proud of me. And something funny happened when I was recording my first album in 2002 in Kumasi. I didn't tell my mom that I was doing anything of that sort. So what we did was, when we recorded Ubi Nyawaye, I invited my mom to the studio. She had gone to visit somebody, and I
Mm.
told my mom that, well, let's pass through here. See me off to this place. I want to take you to a studio and show you something. So
Okay.
I told the studio engineer that open the volume as loud as you can, and let's leave my mom in this room. So what we did was, as soon as he started playing the song, I signaled him. I told him to lock up the studio. So we locked my mom inside the studio. We lock her up inside the studio. Yes, and
Seriously.
yes, and they
That's
play the song Obi Nyawaye. Yes, they play the song Obi Nyawaye from from the beginning to the end. So when we got back to the studios, when we opened the door, I realized tears running down at the corner of her eyes. And she said,
Oh.
Nana, I'm very sorry, okay? I didn't understand you
Yeah.
initially. As a mother, it's not that I didn't love you, I didn't want you to do music, but I was concerned. So if you want to do music, now I've released you, you can do music from here to heaven. Now you have the now you have my blessing, you can do it because I've seen that there's no way I can stop you. Once your interest is in it, I think what I can do is I have to support what you are doing. So from then I got a support from my mom, and I proved her wrong. So sometimes as parents, if you don't understand the gifting of your child, get an expert in that field and let that person coach your child. Maybe your child likes football. You are a medical doctor, so you want all your children to take after you. Life is not like that. Allow people, guide them, but allow them to flow naturally, because that is where they can find their interest and build a good future for themselves. After all, you can't take care of your children forever. Yeah. So that is a little advice that I want to pass it on to parents.
Um, you've done so many songs,
Mm-hmm.
and there are so many that I can't, because of time. So I'll
I
just
know.
mention a few. Obi Nyawaya, which you just
Yeah.
mentioned. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
Kosona Koso.
Koswana Koso. Yeah. Koswana Koso.
That's one of
Yeah.
the Adom Neodo.
Adomyodo, Apojesu, Maesta Mupen,
Yeah.
Onipen Hamwa. Yeah, I have a lot of songs. I
Mm.
have I have a lot.
Okay. We will play one of your songs very soon, but I
Mm-hmm.
just wanted to know, you were doing so well, you were all over the place. Then
Mm-hmm.
all of a sudden, OJ vanished off the surface of the earth. We didn't know whether he's been kidnapped by aliens or what.
Oh
Almost like,
my.
am I right?
You are right. You are right. You are right. You are very right. I have I have
How
I
come you
have not vanished.
were successful then while the flame was,
Yeah.
you
I
know,
have I have even I have vanished for even 5 years before. Between my first and my second album, it took about 5 years to come out again. I'm somebody, I don't come out with music, I come out with a message.
with
I
them.
put a message within music
Mm,
because I believe that will make your music timeless.
mm,
If you just want to do songs, you can just put melody and words together and you can get music. But if you want to do timeless songs, you need to get a message from God. So that is how I roll. So if I don't get a message from God, I wait, and I don't care how long it takes, because when the song comes, you know that the song has come, and the song will really grow on you. And my songs are quite lengthy, and the lyrics are quite deep, so it takes years for people to digest the
okay.
kind of lyrics I put out. I think that's one of the more reason why it takes me a little while before I release, because I believe in quality. Obi Nyawa is almost 20 years ago.
Mm,
But when you play the song, you take your time and listen to the lyrics of the song.
mhm,
You see that it is timeless and it is very applicable. You can apply it to your daily lives, and that is what I seek to promote. It's
no.
not being out there every time. And artistically, people should not see you every time. They should not be able to predict that when I pass, you will see him. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
The gospel fraternity in Ghana, especially, the
Mm-hmm.
pressure is on. Everybody
Yeah.
has to release something every time, and you realize that most of the time, they don't write the songs themselves. So I'm just
Mm-hmm.
asking myself, if God hasn't given you the word to come out,
Yeah.
would you be happy to take on a songwriter to take a song? Because Charlie, in the gospel world in Ghana, the pressure is hot.
But
Everybody is at
my my
every
my
time there's a release.
my
Everybody wants to do
one
something.
of my areas of gifting is writing of songs. I write all my songs,
Oh, right.
and I write all my songs. There are a couple of songs that I've done that people don't even know that I'm the one who wrote it.
The
I've
one.
written songs for Sisi Chum. Oh no, Kwafueje, Meji, where I wrote all those songs. Um, when Wesumia to Inshiremu, I've written songs for people, and I've done a couple of features. People have also featured Mr. Smith. Um, Sisi Chum, SP, Kofi Sapong, Nasty. I've done quite a lot with some of the artists. So the writing is not a problem. It's
Oh,
about when I want to release it.
when you want to.
And yeah, because I'm quite keen about that, because those who follow what I do, they are people who take their time to listen.
Mm,
Because my songs don't really entertain people. It's not the jumping kind of songs. It's songs that you need to apply your heart and your brain to it. So I have to make sure whatever I'm putting out there has to be something that will fit into my brand. Let me say it that way,
mm,
because there's a way that everybody has a way they operate, and when people come to accept you in that manner, you can't deviate so much from it. Because if you put the level or the standard up, you can't fall below it. You should either maintain it or go beyond it. So I'm quite careful not to bring out just anything because people are releasing. And in our world, if you don't slow down life will push you to a place that you don't want to go, because we live in a very fast world. And it looks like people yes, people are not paying attention to substance. They just want to see that you have done something, but it's not a matter of doing something. The substance is worth it. The Bible is what it is because of the substance, because of what it carries. People have written a lot of books, story books, religious books, but the Bible has always remained timeless because of its content. So I'm quite keen about content. So you see me. Mhm.
you have to go for substance, but it's because of you know the media, social media, the way things is revolving so fast, the
Mm,
mentality of people. If you don't make yourself relevant, it's like
mm,
um, we are not hearing anything from OJ. People
mhm.
move to the next one on the block, the
Yeah.
popular one. Then for you to come back again, are people going to go back and say, "Oh yes, OJ, yeah, he did the song. Let's listen to what he's got this time." You see, the problem is that as soon as you just take time off or you are off the scene for a short while,
Mhm.
people have very short memory. They
Mhm.
jump on the next one. That is the
Yeah.
problem a lot of people like you are facing, and that is why they're under so much pressure to always
Mm,
try and be relevant. Because if you don't take care, people patronizing your music because I understand what you are doing. You don't want to follow the crowd. You just, if the Lord gives you the word, you just compose it, arrange everything, and bring it out. But then again, financially, do you agree with me that
mhm.
you have to get something out of it financially? And for you to be consistent,
Mhm.
people patronizing, you have to be very relevant. What do you say about
Yeah.
that? I totally agree with what you're saying, but I'm just thinking out
Mhm.
of the box.
Yeah. I understand you. There are some big shops with big names, and some shops came. Amazon, or let's say Amazon came to me some shops.
Yes,
Yeah.
it did. And it
When
got,
everything is online, people go for it. But there
yes,
are some shops that when you mention Harrods, you know
yes,
what it stands for.
yes.
Those
That
those
is
who
where
buy from there
you're
still go there. Those who buy from there still go there, and the shop has not been closed. And fortunately for me, it boils down to what I was talking about, substance.
going.
Those who are into my songs are quite elderly, because I
Oh,
write beyond my age. Yeah.
mm,
And for them, their pace is not as fast as the younger people.
as the younger people, yeah.
The younger people will let your name stay, but those who give you substance financially are
Mm,
the adults, because they will buy what you produce.
yeah.
The younger generation listen to what you produce, so they keep your name there.
Mm.
But making money from there is not really. You don't get the money, you get the name.
The name.
So
Okay.
yes, so people are loud on social media. They are very loud there. You see their
Yeah,
music, they are all over, but they're not making anything out of it. Trust me. So So I agree with you on the basis of consistency. I need to increase how consistent that side also demand for me. I really get you from there. And this lockdown thing also has its own its own stuff that it brought on us. And that's the more reason why I've not released. But I've done about 7 songs. I've not released any of them yet because I started working on something before I came to UK. So when I go back to Ghana, I'm going to study so hard. And the songs are solid songs.
Oh,
Solid songs. Yeah.
wow. Oh,
Yeah.
all right. Okay. I've got someone who is sent in a question. Michael, he
Mm-hmm.
says, "What is your take on gospel music? I mean, the sound use. Sometimes you see people using fast-paced, uh,
Mm-hmm.
sound for their,
Mm-hmm.
their songs. But
Mm-hmm.
me growing up, I thought I knew gospel music as a calm, not too fast paced. When you're listening
Mm-hmm.
to it, it's like, oh, I'm in the spirit, heaven is coming, that kind of thing. But you realize that now they're using very catchy beats.
Mm-hmm.
Some school of thoughts are of the view that they are trying to catch the young
Mm-hmm.
because that is what will attract them to listen to the words. Some are also of the view that gospel music is gospel music. It has to be calm. It doesn't have to be too fast. What is your take on that?
Mm-hmm.
That's the question Michael is asking.
Yeah. Michael, first of all, what we need to know is when it comes to artistry is about creativity,
Mm,
and creativity is dynamic. So when it comes to artistry, you cannot box everybody and every generation into one thing.
mm,
So for me, there will always be a balance between the young and the old.
the old.
We shouldn't throw everything away, because if you want to go back to in the 80s where the Shedumasi people used to do Shirankanya, I mean, they'll be singing alto, and you won't win anybody into the fold. I'm telling you. So when times are changing, you move with time, because the only Bible version we used to have was King James. But now look at the versions of Bible we have.
Yes.
Look at it. We have various versions. We
Mm,
have the NIV, we have New King James, we have a lot of translations. So as time goes on, as as technology grows, we need to grow and move with timing. We need
okay.
to move with the current trend. That's how the world is. And if you don't move with time will move and leave you.
We move and leave you.
In
Yeah.
a time past, there's no way we could have made this interview possible. I would have traveled all the way to your studios, but now technology has
Exactly.
come. We have rendezvous, we have Zoom, we have Facebook Live, we have WhatsApp, we have all these things. So
It's
are you going to tell me that the only time we could interview somebody was to walk straight into the studio? So if there is a Zoom meeting that we have to do or rendezvous that we have to do, because we are used to the traditional way of doing things, that's how we are supposed to get things done. It's not going to be done that way.
mm,
So I believe that we should leave the young people to do what they are doing.
they are
They
doing.
only need guidance.
Mm,
We only have to guide them so that they don't go to the extreme. That is why the old is there. The old is there to shaping the young.
okay.
And we need a fair balance. We should not condemn them entirely in what they are doing,
Mm,
because when we were also growing up, there were the kind of things we were used to. So
mm,
if the younger generation are used to something, we should rather get closer to them and let them explain how they get it done. That's a mistake we make. So if we go to most of our churches, when we are planning, we don't bring the youth, we don't factor the youth who
so,
are the future of the church into it.
yeah.
We don't pay attention to the children's service, youth service, because we think they are not bringing in much into the church in
Mm,
terms of their financial contribution. So
contribution.
the same thing applies to music.
Mm,
If they are doing what will attract the youth, we should make them that will teach them the word of God, so that when they are bringing the people in, we can have what it takes to sustain them in the faith. So
mm,
when it comes to music, if a young guy is reaching out to the guys on the streets, you don't expect him to wear three piece and go and attract them. He has to wear some tattered jeans and appear a little funky so that you can also reach out to those people. What I'm doing and what I'm used to, I cannot dress in that way because the kind of music I do, when I dress in that way, I'll look funny. So I have to motivate those people so that they can go and get them and bring them back into the church. Because some of us, the kind of music that I do, I reach out to. My song is in between. I don't really make my song like I quote the scripture verbatim from the Bible. I sing more about life if you listen to my songs. So I'm able to win. I have a lot of Muslim fan base, and I have a lot of people who don't even go to church, but they want to listen to my song. So when they listen to my song and they come to church, then those who are doing the typical traditional gospel, they use the song to sustain them and keep them in the church. So everybody has something that he needs to contribute into the kingdom. Some will plant, some will also water the plant. But at the end of the day, God will bring the increase. So we should let the balance reign so that we will not lose those at the left and those at the right. So I don't see any problem with it at all. They just need to be guided. Yeah, that's what I can say when it comes to that.
That's very well explained. I'm with you on that. Ladies and gentlemen, just joined us. This is RWTV. We are here with our special guest, the well-known gospel musician OJ, and he's here talking to us about.
Even when I look at you, for example, look at how beautiful you are looking. In 20 years, there is no way you could appear in this way. You'd have tied a wrapper on your head, and you understand what I'm saying?
Very true. Yeah.
It's about the heart. Yeah. The problem we have is we judge people on the outward.
The outside.
That is judge people by the substance of their heart, not by what you see, because appearance can be very deceptive.
Yeah.
And in our part of the world, we judge people as soon as we see them. Look at how he has fixed his hair. Look at how he's looking. So based on that, but when you travel and you see, you get to have an encounter with other cultures, you see that somebody can even pierce their ears, and there's nothing wrong with it.
Tattoos. People frown on people. They don't want to come to church because they judge them because they've got.
So how can you win them? If you don't come to somebody's level, there is no way you can understand them.
Exactly.
Get to their level and let them explain the reason why they do what they do. And when you are informed in that way, you're able to win them to your side.
Wow, this is very deep, very deep. Yeah. So as I was saying, this is RWTV with me, the wonderful, talented OJ. I'm very inspired. He's really broadened my understanding on certain things. If you want to send in your questions, please do. We are live on all social media handles, especially Facebook. Send us your questions and I'll pass it on to OJ. I just want to ask to play one of OJ's, music, just an interlude for you to have a feel what OJ is all about. Don't go anywhere.
Akwadaa hu da chama n'ani agye na so mepani de afem mese ye ni emre nkaso na so ahwe yi amanye nti makeka memre so asiasini akama yesa mo pen akwadaa hu da chiana n'ani agye opani twa n'ani anani raho mara hu sempa na miken mintam kesye na mimbosui Memranti bremu menti ya futuo Elamina binyo Mranti ani mabawa mutie me Ankama ya samudao Ankama ya samupen Suku yi mahufodi mikobi Nansu koda boni semti manyire mi wensu yadye Woyi medi kwai so Maye di kan bedi etre Ma fonyi na ye jami Ti mamu foma disuen ini agro Mamu foma disuen ini agro kra Anka emrebeti na sanitya Anka samfu somi Anka misaya kwa nage mwa My SM open. The Kanya wafana mi wabio. Disi Kenyi na wamenum. Midi mahodi nyina sumema. Jama mfansa mufwa na misamemu. And then for the avanti mi tuoi. My free me mama yem. My sampa caught fire dear. My SM open. Me see tsunami num sorry pa. Bringing some and try me photo. And some mama through few. And let me saw the one I miss a popo. I hold in no need hobby. As I fell now with your son of one. Come to Fuset, Jainunia. Oh, I'm revetting your sanity. I can revetting your sanity. And me upa. My SM open. Me babro chenu na mi so. Nansu krobi ani agenti. Manyanja padye bia wo fie o. Na manyini adu mi pani fie so. Abro cheti na funu mi o. Nansu miti mi komi chibie. Mamba beka obi my so. Hey Jay, hey Jay, hey Jay, hey Jay, hey Jay, hey Jay. Wami, 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 woo. Hey Jay, hey Jay. Wami, nado nyame, wami. Do 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 do. Onipa hunyame ntama hunya hoto mifa Yesu ntama kama mre azani na la sulalai oche ma sase ma metonye menti mi pwensi fie o enkrofo fie mu atena tuo minya baby famitinto mikonkon obi mancha ti se ade buntie mafutu semi aka emrebeti na sanetia aka rebeti na sanetia Rasani mabawa mutieme kutu sami Emra yeni kaso Akama famu nyansapa Akama famu hwajimpa Mama nyama kasho Unyami se wa so mi mu ami nyo biara mabawa jawante So mi mo Unyami Yankopia medani atwao Yankopia medani atwao Menumi upa Menumi
That's amazing, amazing. Oh my God. You should have won, I don't know. Should I say
I think it won Gospel Song of the Year. The year that I released it.
it's
Yes. I was actually vying for Songwriter of the Year
all right?
at that time. Yeah, but they won the Gospel Song of the Year. Yeah. My SM Open.
Oh my goodness. And how were you able to make yourself an elderly person? Hey,
Actually,
as
I
well.
think I act even better than I sing. I act very well. I'm a very good actor.
Okay.
I attended School of Performing Arts at Legon. So I did music and I did theater arts. I did a bit of stage management and all those things. So I act more than I sing. Yeah.
Wow.
That's another side
The
of me.
mannerism and everything. I said, is that OJ?
That's me. Yeah.
Then
So when I wrote a song, I also wrote a concept for the video. That's usual. That's what I do. All my songs, I sit down and I plan a concept, how I want the video to go, how I want it to be shot. Okay. So I said, let me put myself into the shoes of an elderly man. Actually, this song, I wrote it before the age of 40, before age 40. I
Oh.
think I was in yes, I was in my mid 30s at that time when I wrote it.
Mm.
And it suddenly dawned on me that, young man, you promised yourself that you'll be doing this and that before you hit age 40. Have you been able to done it? Have you been able to achieve them? The
Mm.
kind of goals I set for myself, have I been able to achieve it? And if I'm asking myself all these questions as a gospel artist, as a Christian, who has still not achieved everything I set out to do,
Mm.
and it means there are a lot of people out there who are also asking themselves this same question, and they are not finding the answers. So
Mm.
as a musician, you serve as the conscience of the people. You serve as a lawyer. The things people want to say but they can't say
Yeah.
it, you
Mm.
say it for them through music. That is why music is such a powerful thing. Music is a very powerful force.
Yeah.
If you understand what music can do, music can cause you to help somebody or to hurt somebody. Music can cause you to
Yeah.
laugh. Music can cause
Yeah.
you to it can push you into a place of motivation, and it can motivate you. So I said, then let me write a song. Let me write a song, and the kind of song that I want to write. Let me write a song that would be based on self retrospection. You just take
Okay.
a retrospect of the things you have done in the past, and let me pen down some of the things that when you lose sight of them, it can easily destroy you. So, first of all, I compare adult and child philosophy about how an adult sees the world and how a child or a younger person also sees the world. A child looks into the future, an adult also looks into the past, because we are excited about what is yet to happen. And the elderly is also what the better word that I can use, the elderly person is also looking at the things he should have done in a better way that he couldn't do.
Mm.
So a child looks into the future, an adult also casts his mind back and see what he should have done better. So I talk about education. I
Yes.
talk about schooling. I
Yeah.
talk about making the good decisions in life. I also talk about people who have also traveled abroad to see greener pastures and how they have planned not to go back home, and whilst they're also living abroad, they are not also living the way they want to live. They are not living they are not living in a way that will make their lives better, whilst they've also travel abroad. So I talk about all those things. Then finally, at the end of every song that I do, my final verse, I usually write about salvation. So
Okay.
I talk about Jesus. Onipa hu nyame ntam onya ahotɔ. Mefa Yesu ntam aka mammerɛ.
Wow.
So here I
Mm.
was talking about taking Jesus as your personal Lord and your Savior. So upon all those things that I tabled out in the song, I was trying to tell people that you can't take the Jesus factor out. So I talk about relying so much on your beauty, and you're not adding any value to your life. You're only thinking about what you already got, but what are you adding to your life to make it better? So I talk about all those things in the song My Open. It's not about my life. I'm speaking the mind of people.
Mind
I'm
of
speaking
people.
for them. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. Oh, amazing. I hope we're going to hear from you before the end of the year. But
Mm-hmm.
we will have to end, unfortunately, but I would love to have you on our platform again because
Yeah,
I feel you have a lot to give us.
I
But
have a lot to share.
yeah, so
Yeah.
we'll have a part two. And
Mm-hmm.
also, when you coming out with a new project, please let us
Mm.
know. Our viewers would like to, hear what you've got. But
Yeah.
may ask, what's the future for OJ?
Um, First of all, the future lies in the hands of God, but I have plans.
Are you
Yeah.
planning to become a pastor?
Oh, I'm a minister. I'm a minister, but I focus so much on the music. Yes, I've been ordained, but I prefer being called Minister OJ than Pastor OJ. Yeah,
Oh, okay.
yeah. My
Vicky,
work should be seen in my songs. Yeah, my work should be felt in the song that I do.
uh,
Titles are not. I'm not motivated by titles. I'm motivated
that's
by what I do. Yeah, let your work speak for itself. So
mm,
that is what I'm focusing now. And people got to know me through music. God called me through the music ministry. So I don't want to deviate so much
mm,
and get into other other areas where I cannot do both of them properly. So I still want to stick to music for now,
Oh,
because I believe the music it gets far. Somebody will not want to listen to preaching, but he will want to listen to music.
exactly. Exactly.
Yeah. So I see the music medium as medium that can transfer the gospel to a very far extent. Yeah. And
Uh,
initially, when you said we'll be having our conversation for about 30 minutes, I was just laughing in my head. I
I'm
said,
shocked. I'm I'm shocked. So, I mean, it's amazing.
oh, I was telling my wife, I said, the lady doesn't know what she's talking about. She can't host me for 30 minutes. She might end up doing 2 hours. But it's been good. It's been great.
Oh,
It's
honestly,
been great.
I
Yeah.
was not even checking the time at all. It
Yeah.
seems like
Yeah.
we just started the conversation. Amazing.
It's true. It's
Yeah,
true.
yeah. Apart from music, does OJ have any other talents?
My talent is centered on artistry. I preach,
Okay,
I act,
okay.
I write.
Mm,
Those are the things I do is the things I do with my head and my hands.
your
That's
hand.
where my giftings lies. So anything that has to do with thinking, writing,
Mm,
or singing or speaking, that's what I do. So I preach. I preach as well,
okay.
in the form of a life coach when people are in dire need of counseling or advice.
Yeah.
God has given me that grace. When I speak to people,
Mm,
it brings solution. I might not be able to offer them physical cash, but God has granted me wisdom that when I talk to people, they see results, and that is the thing I want to focus on.
mm,
You can see it in the song, the kind of song that I write,
yes.
and if I compress what I can write into songs, then it means I have more in my head. So that is what I focus on.
Mm, mm. Wow, amazing. We need, more counselors in the church. And the other time
Yeah,
I had a discussion with a lady who deals with people who have been through abuse, so
yeah.
things like that. And it looks like when usually they go to church, um, they are only being told "Enyehwe, fama nyame," that kind of thing. And you go back, you are still enduring whatever you are going through. It's fama nyame,
Mm-hmm.
nyame. So people
It
keep
doesn't help.
asking themselves, do we
That
really
thing doesn't
like
help. Yeah. Mm-hmm. I remember when I was in Ghana, there was something that I used to do with young couples.
it?
Um, anytime they came to check the next day after their wedding, it was like I asked them, "Can I sit down with you for 15 minutes?" Then I share practical ways of marrying. I usually tell them that if you spiritualize your marriage, it will collapse.
Yeah.
Marriage is something practical. Our juma. But the church spend a lot of time during counseling, and when the couple get into the marriage where they have to do marital counseling, that's where the check stops.
Mm, but it
That's
shouldn't
where it
stop
stops.
there.
And it should not end there. They'll put everything, they'll put barriers in the way. If you don't come for counseling for 6 months, you're not going to.
True.
Then they get into the marriage. Something that you get a certificate before you start, you think it is a joke.
Mm-hmm.
And when you over spiritualize things, I think the church should come to a way that we should take interest in our members. We should teach them. We should let them know the practicality of life. We
Mm,
should not spiritualize everything. I think that is where the problem lies. Because in Ghana we have over 70% of the country being Christians. But look at how we go about things. You
it's
know,
true.
just anyhow. So it means then there is something wrong with our Christianity.
Christianity.
So something needs to be done.
Mm.
The church should teach people how to make money, how to be diligent, how to be faithful,
Mm.
how not to steal from people. We should not just gloss over things and do everything prayer, empire, and kwa.
And
Won't say
sometimes
anyone else,
we
"Oh,
talk
go
to
school."
our women. Talk to our women when the husband
Yeah.
is, gives tells you to do something, asks you to do something in the home. You rather prefer
Mm.
going to, to the church to listen to whatever the pastor is asking. If he says sit, you sit. But at home, your husband tells you to, oh my dear, just relax
Mm.
and sit, and you are like, you can't tell me what to do.
The Bible says a false balance is an abomination unto God. A false
Yeah.
balance.
Mm,
Watch and pray.
mm,
So you watch and you pray at the same time. Be
Mm.
vigilant, but we focus only on the prayer and we leave the watching aspect.
Yeah.
And that is where the world has become smarter than us. That's what
Mm.
the Bible says. It said the children of the darkness are even smarter than the children of the light,
Mm.
because we focus our attention, we make things one-sided, and the watching is as important as the prayer. So I
Mm.
always, when people see me, they tell me, why do you have such a beautiful wife? Then I tell them, when I sing, I don't really close my eyes. I open my eyes and I look. You know, show me a pastor who doesn't have a beautiful wife. You tell me. When we saw funny, you don't want your feather. So phobia, you don't want so phobia, because they will tell the church members to close their eyes, but they will open and they make the best out of it.
My day, honestly.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. For me, I'm a very practical person. I'm a very practical. Yeah.
I can feel
Mama
your
told
wife
me,
laughing as well. Is she laughing?
she's laughing. Yes, she's laughing. I make her laugh. I make her laugh a lot. Yeah. I tell her I have nowhere to go. And I love my wife so much. She knows. She
Oh.
can hear me. She can hear. You see, your home must be lovely. Your home must be lovely and lively. Me, I don't believe in nyamesoma or soma na I am more life. You catch
Mm.
my wife. You
Uh-huh.
catch my wife. I tell her she make up no when you so she na me
Really?
yes. Do the foundation. Do yes, I do that. Because I see a lot of women. I stand on platforms. I travel a lot. So if what I have at home is not attractive, I'll be pushed out there to go and sin. Into Oware a ware obi owo suban ne ho san ye ofe. These are the things I tell people. You're spiritualizing Yama too much. So we go into marriage with a motive. We don't go in because we love the person that we are married to. We go because there is something behind our minds. That's a lot of musicians, a lot of artists are having problems in their marriages because they didn't choose, they didn't watch, and they didn't pray. They only prayed and they stopped the watching aspect. Otu dum wi a ubie w'ani ho ade ɛfa ho sɛ ade wɔ yɛ fɛ Awurade ma menya ne yɛ fɛ wɔ fie na mankɔyɛ bɔne ɛno na nye bɔne so.
Oh my goodness. And you know one funny thing? Sometimes too, you might
Mhm.
get the woman of your dreams, but she's not
Mm.
perfect. Maybe an
Yeah,
then yet maybe the way she dresses, and you will have to help her. Not
help
just
her out.
how you want, her to be appealing to you. But most of the time, the men will rub it while they watch it be.
Help
No,
her
first
out.
way, brow way,
You can't use only
just
one
because
hand to
she's
clap.
dressing,
We
she
use
looks very attractive. Why can't you do the same? Help your wife to look the
yeah.
way somebody else's wife is looking that you are comparing. You see, it's a
That's what you see. That's what sometimes you see a lot of people are the secular people who don't go to church are able to marry for 50 years, 40 years, 35 years, 45 years.
why is that?
Why is it that Christian marriages are? Yes, because they don't go to church, but what they know how to keep what they have.
Mm,
You see, there's a secular artist in Ghana. He's called Alumba. He has a song. He said, "Obebia yoba and cho konkohwe the okono sta ohwe me a meye te so no a."
mm,
Take good care of me so that I will end up appearing like the one that
that you are.
you are dying to see.
Mm,
Yeah. So don't admire something and don't do an external admiration and leave your internal admiration somewhere.
mm.
Cherish what you have. Uye ni ya ya wankasa wade. To me, I believe in.
I think
I'm
I
a
used to
practical person.
listen to a motivational advice kind of,
Mhm.
but I want
Yeah,
to reserve that for part two. So
yeah, you do that.
yeah, so quickly, we have to wrap up everything.
Mm,
I need
mm.
you to just tell us, summarize, just say something to our viewers, especially to those young and upcoming, people who want to venture into, going into gospel music. Sometimes
Yeah.
it is all that rosy. Just a little
Mm-hmm.
advice and a word of encouragement, then we just wrap up.
Mm.
Also, I will need you finally to leave your details to say if anyone wants to get in touch with you, uh,
Yeah.
regards to any upcoming programs that they would like you to.
Okay, and my social media handles. Yeah.
Yeah, and all social media handles. It may also be that someone needs to speak to you about a problem he or she is going through. She's touched and feel that you are the one he or she can
Mm.
to. So quickly, just give us something, round everything up, and just drop your social media
Okay.
handles for us.
One of my favorite scriptures in the Bible is Ecclesiastes chapter 10, verse 10. It
Mm,
says, when the axe is dull and its edges are not sharpened,
mm,
more strength will be used, but skill will bring success.
right.
If you sharpen your skill, you use less energy.
Mm,
When your axe or when your knife is sharp, you won't use a lot of energy. You use just a little effort. Then the knife will be doing the cutting by itself. So what I'm trying to say here is whatever giftings God has placed within you, sharpen it. Learn through formal way or an informal way. If you realize that your head will help you to get what you are looking for, go to school. If you realize that your hands will help you, learn something with your hands. Because no matter who you are, you will have strengths and you have weaknesses.
okay.
Work on your weaknesses and improve on your strength, because that is where you use less effort.
Mm,
So wherever your gifting lies, go to that side. Focus your strength on what you can do.
mm,
Don't waste all your time on the things you can't do.
okay.
That's what I want to say when it comes to that. Then also, the Bible says it's appointed unto man to die once, and after that there is judgment. So everything I say, it boils down to the Jesus factor. It looks like when I go on social media and I check things, people have an agenda of making sure that they water down the persona of Jesus. People want the youth to know that there's no Jesus and Jesus' story is fake, it's not real. It's
Yes.
an agenda.
Mm,
It's an agenda that people are really pushing on the social media. And the church needs to rise up.
lights up.
We need to let people know that God is real.
Mm,
Even when you don't believe in God, you just serve him. When you die and there's no God, you don't lose. But
yeah.
if you allow people to take you off the God track, the Jesus track, and you die and you realize that there is hell somewhere, there
Mm,
is no way you can have the motivation to come back.
mm,
So please, Mama Mobia and Adam say Yesu anyhow, Yesu or you're real. That's
mm,
what I want people to know.
mm.
Yes. And my social media handles are my YouTube, my YouTube channel is official Minister OJ.
Okay.
And on Facebook, my page is Minister OJ. On Instagram, Minister OJ.
Mm.
Yeah, and on Twitter it's Minister OJ. But I'm quite my presence is quite felt on Facebook and also on YouTube.
YouTube. Okay.
So when you go there,
No.
my songs are the concert that I did in London. There are all the everything is there. Since you have assured me
Wow.
of a part two, when I come, I'll
Yeah.
speak extensively on that. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Probably we might have a part three, but the part three might not be about you.
I have a lot here. I have a lot
But
to
it's
share.
about your counseling abilities. We're going to test you on that.
Mm-hmm. I know that really kicked you. You really
Oh,
like that, right?
very honest. It did. It
Yeah.
did. It did.
Yeah.
Honestly,
Mm,
yeah, it did.
We
So,
bless
Minister,
God.
Ode, thank you so much.
My
I
pleasure.
really enjoyed your company, and if I wasn't
Mm,
even keeping track of time, but fortunately,
yeah.
my director also, I think he's also enjoying it. You've hypnotized him, so he didn't even give me the signal that look, your time is far gone. You have to quickly
Mm-hmm.
wrap up. He hasn't said it, so I'm
Yeah.
surprised. Yeah, yeah. So that
Yeah.
tells you, how the impact you've had on all of us. You have
Yeah.
impacted me. I've learned so much about you. You've inspired me, and I would love to have you back on. If not part two,
That'd be
we
fine.
can have a lot of series.
Yeah. A lot
Yes.
of
So
series.
thank
That would
you
be
so
fine.
much for your time. I
I'm
know
so grateful.
you
Let me
don't.
say a very big thank you to Mr. Kofi Ankoma.
Yeah.
He's also my dad.
Ah,
Yeah, he's also my dad. And a very special person in my life. That's my wife, Florence.
okay.
Florence Oware.
When will we have her on here? Because I want to see that beautiful face be
My
blushing up.
wife, my wife is a very reserved person.
Ah, camera
She
shy.
doesn't, yeah, she's camera shy.
So,
She's anti-lens. Yeah.
Oh,
That she doesn't want lens to capture
oh,
her, and
all right.
yeah,
I'll
and I love that. I love that because she gives me the strength that I'm looking for.
okay.
Yeah. So if I will appear in the camera, she should not, so that I'll be able to
I
get
can
that
see you
strength.
are jealous there. You don't want anybody to see that good thing you've got.
She won't do it. I know her. She won't do it. She won't do it. She pushes me to do all the things I do, and she has really helped me to come this far. She's really done a great job. So I'm so grateful to her. So whatever she is, I know she's eyeing me. She's eyeing me small, small.
Oh,
Yeah, but
okay.
yeah, it's good. So I'm so grateful, and I'm so grateful to you.
Oh,
We just met, but I think the bonding is there. We
mm,
click so well,
yeah,
and that is the essence of Christianity. The
exactly.
person you should not be blood related, but
Great.
once the person is a believer in Christ, the person is an automatic
Mm,
sister. So you are
mm.
my sister for life.
Oh,
Yeah,
thank
I'm
you. With
so
your wife's
grateful.
permission, isn't it?
Oh, yeah, my wife.
Mm.
She's one person. She's not jealous. Oh, because she
Oh,
was saying,
oh, there's a little bit in there. You ask
my
her.
wife. I know her. I know her. Because she was saying, there are some people when they tell you that you go and sing and come. When you go and
Yeah.
sing and you come, I'm there. Will you go and sing in the first place?
No, 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 the girl.
Uh-huh. Is that kind of person? Yeah. Oh, you go. They can have you for a while, but I have you to myself. Into
Hmm.
any panic has some which
I don't know.
Yeah.
Never.
Yeah.
Never.
Mm-hmm. Nti wokɔ na wonkɔ nkɔnkɔyɛ ɛyi kɔbra wode kɔba ne wobɛyɛ bia woba mepɛ wo saa wobɛkɔ akɔyɛ wonkɔyɛ wobɛka sɛ meyere atumifo nti she's like that.
I
She's a wonderful woman.
Papa, pray, no, when we going to talk about counseling, no, I would like us to
Mhm.
delve into the reason why a lot of Ghanaian marriages are failing in the UK.
Mm.
It becomes
Yeah,
so common. And I think we'll
common.
spend time and sit down,
Yeah.
do an example of a successful marriage,
Mm.
how you were
Mm.
able to do that,
Yeah.
block yourself from outside influences, making sure
Mm-hmm.
that your marriage is on track because it's very worrying.
Mm.
At the end of the day, it's our children who are suffering with just a single parent.
So true.
This is a big
So true.
problem. I don't know whether it's a spiritual thing that is going around to separate families in the Christian.
Mm.
We'll talk
Yeah.
about that as well. It's
Yeah.
something that
Yeah.
really worries
Yeah.
me a lot. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Because divorce is a symptom. We talk about that. It's a symptom. It's a symptom of an undercurrent, something that we gloss over, something that we didn't really pay attention to. It's like when you are driving and you see that your your um your dashboard is flashing,
Yeah,
that you are running out of fuel.
well,
It
and
will
you
be
ignore it.
flashing. It means
Yeah.
that your tank is empty. Yeah.
Mm, mm,
You know, our Arabia our go from the beginning.
okay.
Our go in the middle of at the end of the marriage. No.
Mm,
I did it's something that we solved from the beginning, but we decided that no, it doesn't matter, it will heal by itself. That's how marriages get broken. So we talk about that. I don't want to
you
take the
honestly
wind out of the
talk
sail.
about that
Yeah.
because sometimes too
Mm.
people have the opinion because a lot of women are given the right, especially in this UK. And that could be also one of the factors they feel we are
For me, it's not about women giving the right. For
no
me, I have a problem with those people. When there is
you
when there is dishonesty, that is where people begin to adapt or people take stance.
mm,
When things are not clear,
mm,
because for a woman loving you, it's not a difficult thing for them at all.
mm,
So if you give your woman a reason to love you,
mm,
love becomes automatic. And when the man becomes transparent, because if she's using all her energy to bring in money and you're using the
money,
money to take off
one,
girlfriends, then she also advise herself,
mm,
because on those negotiations for 24 and about
of
bridge.
course, yeah.
You understand? Yeah. Although we talk behind the
Talk
scenes.
about
There had
it.
the
Well,
higher
yep,
yeah.
3 4
Mm,
hours. So thank you so much,
yeah.
OJ.
Thank you.
Thank you, and I thank your family for
Pleasure.
allowing you to come on our platform to impact
Thank
that
you. Yeah, yeah. I'm
yes,
so grateful.
yeah, yeah. Thank
Bless
you.
you.
Stay blessed.
Bless
So
you.
we'll end this
Bless you.
program with a repeat because I've got people requesting for a repeat of the song we played during the interview. So we're gonna end
Oh,
with a repeat. Until then, take good care of yourself. I'll meet you same time. Yes. Take care. Bye. So let's end the two with what Mr. Minister OJ's music, and we'll see you next week. Take care and God bless.
Akwadaa hu da chama n'ani agye. Na so me pani de afem me se. Ye ni emre nkaso o. Na so ahwe yi amanye nti. Makeka me mre so asiasini. Oh. Akama yesa mo pen. Akwadaa hu da chiana n'ani agye. Opani twa n'ani anani raho. Mara hu sempa na me ken. Mintam kese na me bosi. Memranti bremu menti afutuo. Ena mina minyo. Mranti ani mabawa mutie me. Ankama yesa mudao. Ankama yesa mupen. Suku yi mahufo di mikobi. Nanso koda boni semti manyire mi wensu de woyi medi kwan so maye di kan be di atire ma fo nyina ye jami ti mamu foma di suan ni agro mamu foma di suan ni agro kra anga emre beti na sanija anga sanfu so mi kami anga misaya koda bema anga sanfu so mi my SM pain. Tikani awafana mi wabio. Disi kenyi na wamenum. Medi mahodi nyina sumemba. Jama mfansa mufwa na misamemu. Anembode abanji mituoi. Ma free me mema yem. Masiankwa kofaya die. My SM pain. Misi tsunami num sorry pa. Bringing some and try me photo. And some mama through you. Let me saw the one I miss a popo. I hold in ni hobby. Na safena usya son wa. Kame tu fuse jainunia. Oh, Anka emre beti mi asanatia. Anka emre beti mi asanatia. Menumi upa. Anka misaya poda biema. Anka sanfu swami. Menumi upa. Anka misemba minchigema. Kamesi nyansa wa babwemu. Anka misaya koda biema. Anka mintutu mi wansi my SM open. Me ba broche no na mi so. Nansu krobia ni agenti. Manyanja padie bia ofie o. Na manyini adumi pani fie so. Abroche tina funumi o. Nansu mitimi komi chibiem. Mamba beka obi my so. Hey Jay, hey Jay, hey Jay, hey Jay, hey Jay, hey Jay. Wami, 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 hey Jay, hey Jay. Wami, nado nyami, wami. Do 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 do. Onipa hunyami ntama hunya hoto. Mifa Yesu ntama kama mre. Azani la la sulalai. Oche ma asase ma metonye. 90 points fie o. Enkrofu fie mu atenetuo. Minya baby famitinto. Mikonkon obi mancha ti se ade. Buntie mafuti semi. Aka emrebeti mi asanetia. Aka emrebeti mi asanetia. Rasani mabawa mutieme. Mutieme futi semi. Emre ye ni kaso. Aka mefa munyansa pa. Aka mefa mi hwadwimpa. Mama nyama kacho. Onyame se wa so me mu ami ni obiara ma ba wo ja wate. So me mo. Onyame. Bien copy a medani atwa. Bien copy a medani atwa. Menu mi upa. Menu mi upa.